So, 12 Angry Men, a movie about 12 guys locked in a room trying to decide if a teenager should live or die. And somehow it's one of the most entertaining pieces of cinema I've had the pleasure of watching. No CGI, no expectations, no explosions, just sweat, stubbornness, and the battle between emotion and logic within the human psyche. And now my goal here today is quite simple: to figure out whether the jury actually made the right decision and whether some of these men should have even been allowed to sit in the first place. I've recreated the case here. We have the defendant, we have the jurors, we have the witnesses, we have the crime scene places, etc. I have everything. Absolutely everything. By the end, I will have told you how I would have voted if I was the 13th juror. Or the 12th, because this guy, I don't even remember him. Useless. Useless guy. I'm him now, okay? I'm him. And if you think I'm wrong, feel free to hold a hung jury in the comments, because, well, it's my opinion, and you can do whatever you want, I guess. Alright, so here's what we know. This boy right here, accused of stabbing and killing his father. I didn't actually make anything for his dad. Bear with. The Pringles man is now his father. We all got that? Yeah? Alright, keep that in your mind. So, this boy is accused of murdering his father with a knife. And this lady says she saw it from across the tracks. And this guy says he heard it all going on from the apartment below. And then he saw the guy run down the stairs when he got to the door. So, that's it. That's all we need to know at the moment. That's all these guys know when they do their first vote. With me so far. Fantastic. Boy says he's at the cinema. Can't remember a goddamn thing about the movie he saw, the actors in the movie, or what time the movie took place. Once again, suspicious. Still with me? Good. In addition to the boy using the knife to murder his father, I may accidentally point to him as the dad. He is not the dad. This is the dad. Let's not forget that. When the boy murders his father, he uses the switchblade. Now, the switchblade, according to the prosecution, is extremely unique. No other switchblade like it. We'll get to that in a moment. But that is all the information these jurors have at the time when they do their vote. So, how do they vote? Well, they vote like this. Now, as you can see, there is a hell of a lot of red and only one line of green. Now, jurors 1 through 12, excluding 8, all voted guilty immediately. Immediately. In the preliminary vote, 11 of them said guilty. Now, that is based off the information that I told you a moment ago about him killing his dad with the unique switchblade, him hearing him from the floor below, and her seeing it from across the tracks. Through a train, though. Through a train. Either way. And the fact that his alibi doesn't really hold up. Who goes to the cinema alone? I know I do, but you know, guess that makes me a criminal. I'm joking. Or am I? Who knows? Not you. Now, after they all go, oh yes, we all believe he's guilty, and he goes, well, I'm not too sure. He doesn't say he's innocent, remember. He says, I just don't know. He says, I feel like the defense gave up halfway through. He also says that he feels like they didn't give the boy a fair shot. Now, if that's something that happens, then so be it. I mean, you can't really vote guilty if you feel like that has been the case. But what he then goes and does, when they all say to him, they say, what about the unique switchblade? What about the woman seeing him from across the tracks? What about the old man hearing him from downstairs? And what about the alibi? Now, we're going to go through these one by one like they do in the movie. So, switchblade. That's the switchblade there. That's the one that was put in evidence. And this is a switchblade that Mr. Number 8 got at the pawn shop across the street. With me? Yes. Good. Fantastic. In fact, what we're going to do is I'm going to get some string and we're going to color coordinate, because that's how I'm doing things right now. Okay, so I have now added the yellow lines, so connects this witness to the train tracks, connects this witness to the flat, and it connects Mr. Henry Fonda, number 8 over here, to the switch knife that he bought at the pawn shop. So he buys this knife at the pawn shop, and later on in the movie, I don't remember which one it is, I believe it is number 3, accidentally mistakes this switch knife for the real switch knife. Now, the prosecution did say this one was unique, and by the blade, not unique. They also both have dragon imprints on the handle, and they have a little metal tip at the end as well that's matching. But this one has white on the handle, this one does not. I believe that's still big enough to be unique. So, murder weapon. That doesn't matter to me, okay? Shouldn't matter to you either, because they are still 2 different weapons, okay? This one's a longer handle and a longer blade as well, and this one has white. Well, let's say you and your best friend get the same matching dragon tattoo, but your friend is Middle Eastern and you are white and pasty. Just because you have the same dragon tattoo does not mean that you are the same. So, in terms of the switchblade, in which this switchblade is definitely the blade that he bought at a shop a couple of hours before he murdered his dad, allegedly. Dad, remember. And now onto the next piece of evidence. This witness. Now, this lovely lady, it's not the actual lady because we don't actually see her in the movie, but I found this image online because she's supposed to be in her 40s and she's supposed to have glasses and she's supposed to look kind of sad. Kind of sad. Do you see that? Do you see the little sadness in her eye? Yeah, me too. That's why I chose this image. These train tracks, so they're not on the ground floor, by the way. They're not on the ground floor, but it is very late at night. She is in bed. She wakes up, looks out of her bedroom window across a street that is the width of about this, with the heightened train tracks going across, an empty train carriage going by, which the prosecution did prove that you can look through in the middle of the night, by the way. No idea how that's possible, but it is what it is. We'll accept it. So she's able to look through, but she immediately wakes up, looks over, and looks through, sees the boy murdering his father. Now, the problem arises is that she wears glasses, and this guy noticed that, all right? Because he noticed that he has imprints on his eyes just here where his glasses touch his nose. And he noticed that she had the same ones, but she didn't wear the glasses in the courtroom, but she has glasses. She wears glasses. This is known. It's a guarantee. She wears glasses. How many more times am I going to say glasses? Glasses, 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 glasses. That's enough. Essentially, she'd have to look 70 feet across a street with a train carriage blocking the way. Now, like they said, you can look through the train carriage because it was empty and it was the middle of the night with the lights on in the train carriage, so you can see right through. That's okay. That's fine. But she woke up and immediately looked out of her window. Now, I don't know about you, but this guy, the 2 guys wearing glasses, the old man, and myself, none of us are wearing our glasses when we're sleeping. So, if I'm here and I'm sleeping, and I wake up and I go, oh, what's that noise? I look out the window and I have to look 70 feet across without my glasses. It's a blur. In fact, it's a blur to even look at the script on the screen behind you. And that's 10 feet, 12 feet. I don't know feet. her testimony is essentially invalid at this point. Now, I agree with that because A, she's woken up and within seconds looking across, okay? Your mind doesn't wake up that quickly. You can't really comprehend what's going on. Particularly for me, I wake up and I'm groggy for the first half an hour, let alone 5 seconds. So, not only can we not trust her eyes, but we also can't trust her at all, which means she's essentially a big no. All right? And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cross her out because she is a big no. Actually, instead of completely ruining the image itself, just in case I do have to re-record any of this, ladies and gentlemen, because that sometimes does have to happen, what we're going to do is we are just going to take her off. She no longer exists, okay? She is gone. It's over for her. So that is one witness disappeared. Now, I'll leave that train track picture up because I like trains, okay? Do you like trains? I'm going to assume you do because only somebody who likes trains is going to watch this video about 12 Angry Men. Thank you. Our next witness is Mr. He doesn't have a name, but he's very old, he's very senile, and he has a limp, okay? He has a limp. Now, you may not be able to see this here, so I'm going to get down and read it for you. So this right here is his bed. This right here is his door. So he was laying in bed, heard from the floor above the boy yell, "I'm gonna kill ya," which, by the way, how many of us have said that to somebody at some point? That means nothing. He then hears a thud, so he gets out of his bed, hobbles 15 feet out of his room, and then an additional 43 feet down his corridor. 43 plus 15, 58 feet. 58 feet in 17 seconds, I believe it was. I believe it was 17 seconds. Fact check me on that if you want, because it's probably wrong. But I'm trying to engagement farm. Of course I am. Why am I still down here? I don't know. But I kind of like it. Anyway, so let's say he does make it. He's limping. He manages to run. He can't run, but he manages to run from his bed to the corridor, and he sees the boy running down the stairs. The boy doesn't see him, but he sees the boy, because the boy's essentially run down those stairs, and he's at this point now where he's like, whoa, and he's running out. Anyway, is what it is. He sees him, but that would mean he only saw the back of him as well. Either way, that man, they did the test in the movie, that man is not making it 17 seconds, 58 feet. Okay? Try it right now. Limp. I'm gonna limp for you. I'm going to be honest, I don't know how long that was, but it felt long, longer than 17 seconds, and that is not 58 feet. In fact, I'm pretty sure this is a meter, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 meters, and I went back and forth, so 8 meters. I don't know what 8 meters is in feet. I'll put it on the bloody screen. So this guy's testimony, also invalid, because A, he either heard the guy scream. No, sorry. Either way, Okay, so what we have determined is that this guy's testimony is also invalid. Why? Because of there's two things, yeah? There's two things that his testimony tells us, which is that the boy told his dad, I'm gonna kill ya. And he also says that he saw him running down the stairs, but he had to get out of bed to do so. If we can't trust him on one of his testimonies, how are we supposed to trust him on the other? Which means we can't validate that the boy said to the dad, I'm going to kill you. And once again, even if he did, how many times have you told somebody that you know or care about or are related to, I hate you, I'm going to kill you, I can't believe you've done whatever, I hate, blah, 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 blah. You know the drill. Anyway, we can't trust his testimony, which means we get rid of him. Okay? You see these two people cannot be trusted. Don't trust old people. Don't trust blind people. Don't trust people from the slut. Wait, no. That's why I call him a bigot. So these two people, you just can't trust them, okay? You just can't. Don't trust them. You see anybody that looks like this, don't trust their testimony. Is what it is. These two people, they don't even look like, I mean, they kind of do actually. I feel like I got these images spot on. Either way, don't trust them. They're gone. They're gone and that's over. So we now no longer have any witnesses. All we have is the boy bought a switch knife. Later on in the day, his dad died. And the police found his dead dad. Is that enough to convict a man of murder? Well, it was his knife. It was his knife, but he says he was at the movies. Now, he can't remember which movie he saw. He can't remember the people in the movie. But this guy right here, yeah? Juror number 4. Now, he went to the movies on Monday. The jury situation takes place on a Friday. And we know that because he says, what did you do the 4 nights before? You get me? Okay. So, what did you do the 4 nights before? Well, on the Monday, I went to go to the cinemas. I went to the pictures. Ha 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 ha. Well, what pictures did you see? And he was like, well, I saw 2. The first one was such and such and such and such. And the second one was, oh, I don't know. I don't quite remember. Well, who was in the movies that you saw? Oh, I think this was a Sharon lady, and I'm not too sure what the others were. Okay, so you, Mr. Logical, Mr. Autistic, Mr. Remembers Everything, probably loves trains. Now, he is shocked. This is his face during that moment, by the way. He's like, my bad. My bad. All right? So he's like, well, I have no idea. He's like, I have no idea. I have to put reasonable doubt in my mind. So, his problem with the cinema alibi is what it is. Also, the kid's been shook up. He comes home to find the police arresting him and his father dead on the ground with his knife. So, at some point, he's going to forget what pictures he saw. But I'm not defending him. I just can't be sure of guilt. Big up Mr. Fonda. Now, we go on to the next piece. What was I going to say about these? I don't quite remember. I will be right back at you. Give me a moment. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I recall now. Juror number 5. This juror right here, juror number 5. He is from the slums. He's from the same place as this boy. He's basically him in 20 years. He knows what it feels like to be prejudiced against. He also knows what it's like to hold a switchblade and gank someone. Is gank the right word? I don't know. Look at me. I've never stabbed anybody a day in my life. Anyway, he goes, okay, well, the knife wound essentially goes like this into the dad, yeah? This is what it says in the coroner's report. This is scissors, by the way. I'm not stabbing anybody. I'm not telling anybody to stab anyone. Okay, YouTube, get a grip. Now, so coroner's report, it essentially says stabbed him like that. But this guy goes, nah, not in my life experience, buddy. You essentially hold it like this, you switch the blade out, and then you gank like that. Okay, you gank up. You don't gank down, you gank up. And I trust him wholeheartedly. Why? Because he's from the slums and he still voted guilty, but he just went, that's the only bit that doesn't add up to me. That's the only bit that doesn't add up. You'd go like that, not like that. Because how you'd hold it is you'd hold it like this, and then you'd switch it out like that, and then you'd stab. Because otherwise you'd have to go, it's gonna be like, what are you doing with the switchblade? Like, this, the whole point of it is like, fwa, fu. Not, fwa. You know what I mean? You get me? It would take too long. The dad would notice. He'd be like, what the hell are you doing? It's the 50s. I don't know. Did they have cowboy? Don't act like that wasn't cool. At this point, we've gotten rid of both witnesses. We can't be sure that the kid would have even stabbed the guy because he knows how to use a switchblade. And he bought the switchblade and he'd know to use it like that. So we can't even trust that he did the stabbing. All we know is that it's his knife, it's his dad, and they had a rough relationship. Now, at the end of the movie, all of these guys vote not guilty, okay? Because they have reasonable doubt. They have reasonable doubt. They can't trust that he's guilty. But I will just say this, yeah? This fella, he is a racist, classist, bigot, and he should never have been on a jury to begin with, okay? He made a group of, well, he was the 12th guy. So he made a group of 11 white men in 1957 feel uncomfortable because of the amount of racism he was spewing. Do you know how much of an ordeal that is? This was pre-MLK, okay? Pre-MLK Jr. They had separated water fountains and all of these guys were okay with that. And then this guy is so offensive that they're like, you gotta shut up. They shut him up and they sit him in a corner facing the opposite way. His opinion, invalid, okay? His opinion's invalid. He does not matter one bit. So we're just gonna do that to him, okay? We're gonna do that to him. His opinion does not matter. This guy, he seems a very generic, basic guy. It is what it is. He's an immigrant, but he believes in the American dream and he believes in giving people chances to prove themselves. This guy, all I remember is that he basically goes, hey, let him talk. Let him talk. Doesn't sound like that, but he goes, let him talk. I feel like I was about to do a Trump impression. Let's not go there today. This guy, very timid, offers everybody cough drops though, which is very nice because it's very sweaty and boiling. And in fact, I do believe this guy had a cold at the time. This guy's the last guy to change his vote, by the way, when there's this guy, the racist. Now, that's because this guy out here, he had a bad relationship with his son. He used to hit him. And then his son hit him back one time, ran away, and he never saw him again. Which is why he thinks every kid is the problem. So, what are we going to do? His opinion's invalid, his opinion's invalid. Now, this guy's opinion is also invalid, but not for the reasons you'd expect. Now, he sat there and he goes, hey, say, I've got a ball game to get to. See, I'm going to see the Yankees versus Connecticut, say. I'm going to watch the Yankees win the World Series, say. And it's at 8 o'clock. It's at 8 o'clock and I have to go see it. I have to go see it right now. So I'm going to vote guilty. And then midway through he goes, well, I can see this as a turning point, so I'm just going to say not guilty. He annoys me very much. He annoys me a lot. Understand. If you are anything like this guy, where you can't take an hour out of your day and you'd rather watch the Yankees play, which, by the way, Dodgers for life. If you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to let a man die and be committed to prison for his entire life and get a death sentence with the electric chair because you want to watch the Yankees play ball. Awful human being. Awful human being. Terrible. Worse than the racist. Worse than the child abuser. Okay? Do you know why? Because you're a psychopath. Psychopath. So he doesn't really matter either. Now, the only people really worth talking about in here, 8, 9, 6, 5, and they're it, really. They're the only ones with valid enough opinions. Not because they say not guilty, because remember at the start, all of them said guilty apart from Henry Fonda and Mr. Number 8. But he has life experience. He knows how this kid feels. He knows the situations he would have been in. He knows how prejudiced it is against him. This guy, he's a working class man and he stands up for everybody. He's like, when this guy starts yelling and this guy starts being a bigot, what does this guy do? He goes, hey, that's not fair. You gotta shut up or I'm gonna put it up. Hey. Cool. Everybody should be like that. Although violence is not the answer. This guy, now he doesn't even think, he doesn't even know guilty or not guilty. Even at the end, he's not entirely sure. But he does just go, I can't sentence a boy to death without at least talking about it. And that's important. I am slightly concerned why he went and bought a knife that almost exactly matched this knife. Maybe he's the murderer, he feels guilty and he's got a conscience, so he's like, I'm going to get the boy off. Holy shit, did I solve it? I think I solved it. He's the killer, which means he's not guilty. But he feels so guilty, and he realizes it's just a chance that he's on the jury. But he's like, well, I'm gonna go buy a knife that almost exactly matches the knife, and he knows what that knife looks like because he wouldn't have been able to go buy that knife between the end of the courthouse session and like the deliberation because they go straight in. So where did he get the knife from? Oh my God. Oh my God, he did it. He did it. And that's why he's like, I'm not going to sentence the boy to die because I killed his dad. This guy is innocent. He's guilty, but he's also a good person because he didn't let this guy take the fall when he easily could have. Wow. Wow. Do you know what this reminds me of? There is a movie that came out in 2024 called Juror number 2. It's got Nicholas Hoult in it. This reminds me a lot of that because that's also Persian. Is that what that's based on? Oh my golly gosh. Well, we're not going to give him any more screen time because, well, he's an abuser. We're not going to give him any more screen time because he's a murderer. Juror number 8, the guy who testified for his innocence the entire time, was guilty. He was guilty. It was him. He committed the murder. He had the knife. It was all him. It was all orchestrated by him. He wanted to kill the guy's dad because he saw that he was abused and he felt abuse in his past. Like, oh my God. I can't believe I caught this on camera. I can't believe I got it on camera that I got him. This has been an open case since 1957. Please let me know in the comments down below if you agree with me that he is the true murderer and that's why he was fighting so heavily to get him off scot-free because he felt guilty about it. If you don't agree with me, let me know why, because I feel like that's pretty open and shut. It's a pretty airtight case I've pulled right here, okay? If you like this video, please like it and subscribe for more content, and I will see you guys next time. Have a good one.